10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's the brightest and most noticeable object in the night sky, but if you spend much time observing it, you will see that the moon is never quite the same from one night to the next. The moon has something we call phases, which means that it appears to change shape a little bit every night. To understand why this happens, we need to talk a little bit about the way the Earth and the moon move together in space. The moon orbits around the Earth, much like the Earth orbits around the sun. However, while the Earth takes about 365 days to travel once around the sun, 1 year, the moon completes its orbit around the Earth in only 29.5 days, or about 1 month. That's actually where the idea of months came from, the time it takes for the moon to complete one orbit around the Earth, and the words moon and month come from the same root. Despite how bright it looks in the sky, the moon does not have any light of its own. It only appears to shine brightly in the sky because light from the sun hits it and bounces off. Just like the Earth, the moon has a day side and a night side, with half of it in sunlight and half of it in darkness at any one time. As the moon travels through its orbit around the Earth, that dividing line between day and night, called the terminator, is visible from different angles, giving the impression that different amounts of the moon are lit up on different days.
by far the largest object in the solar system. It is at the center of the solar system. It is a spinning ball of very hot gas. It's the heat and the light of the sun that makes life possible on Earth. The sun is fueled by nuclear fusion reaction. It can fit 1.3 million Earth inside its sphere. The sun has been burning for more than 4.5 billion years. And it's the gravitational force of the sun that keeps all the planets in their orbit.
Mercury is the smallest of the planets. It is as hot as it is close to the sun, and hence no living creature can live on this planet. Mercury was named after a Roman god, Mercury, who is the fast-flying messenger. Mercury takes only 88 days to revolve around the sun, which makes it the fastest revolving planet. Venus. Venus is the second closest planet to the sun. Did you know that Venus is called the morning and evening star? The reason for this is that Venus is visible in the morning and evening as the brightest star from Earth. Venus takes about 244.7 days to orbit around the sun, and it is named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty. Earth. Our planet Earth is the third closest planet to the sun. It is blue in color, and there is a lot of water present on the surface of Earth. Water constitutes about 70% of the entire surface of our planet. Unlike Earth, the Moon is not a planet. It is a natural satellite of Earth, and it revolves around the Earth. Satellite is a smaller body which rotates around another rotating body. Earth is the only planet which has animals, trees, and human beings. Mars. Mars is called the red planet because it's red in color. This red color is due to the presence of a chemical called iron oxide. This iron oxide is present on the surface of Mars, hence giving it its red color. Mars is named after the Roman god of war. It has 2 moons that in turn revolve around it. Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest and largest planet of our solar system, and it is named after the Roman god Jupiter. Jupiter is 317 times the mass of Earth. Jupiter may have all the rocky core of the heavier elements, making it the biggest and heaviest planet. The outer atmosphere of Jupiter is divided into several bands and different latitudes, resulting in extreme storms. Jupiter has 67 moons revolving around it. These are natural satellites of Jupiter. Saturn. Saturn is the only planet to have rings around it. Saturn is named after the Roman god of agriculture. Saturn has over just 95 times the mass of Earth. The rings around Saturn are mostly composed of ice particles and some rocky debris and dust. Saturn has around 62 moons revolving around it. Uranus. Uranus is similar to Neptune and is named after the Greek god of sky, Uranos. It has around 27 natural satellites revolving around it. Uranus is unique when compared to other planets because of the fact that its axis of rotation is tilted sideways, unlike the other planets. It looks bluish-green in color because of the atmosphere of Uranus is very cold and cloudy. Neptune. Neptune is the farthest planet away from the Sun. It is about 17 times size of the Earth. Neptune is light blue in color because it is the coldest of all planets. Neptune is the densest of all planets as well. It is named after the Roman god of sea. There was another planetary object called Pluto, which was originally the 9th planet, but it is no longer considered a planet because Pluto and its moons are now considered to be a region.
Comet. A comet is a collection of large number of rocky,
and metallic particles coated with frozen ice of water, carbon dioxide, ammonia, and methane. Comets revolve around the Sun like planets. The orbits of comets are very large and very eccentric. The narrow head of the comet is composed of billions of small bits of rocks and dust particles. It shines brightly by the reflection of sunlight. As the comet approaches the Sun, the ice crystals vaporize to form the tail that points away from the Sun and extends millions of miles in space. The tail always points away from the Sun as the Sun's rays repel the gases. As the comet moves away from the Sun, the gases condense and freeze again, and the tail disappears. The period of revolution of a comet around the Sun is very large. For example, the period of revolution of the most famous comet, Halley's Comet, is 76 years. It was last seen in 1986. Meteors and meteorites. Meteors are the celestial bodies in the sky that we see as a bright streak of light that flashes for a moment across the night sky. Meteors are also called shooting stars. Each time a comet passes the Sun, it loses some of the gases, and ultimately only dust particles and stony or metallic rocks are left behind. When these particles enter the Earth's atmosphere, they burn as a result of the heat produced by friction and become visible as a bright streak of light shooting down the night sky. Most of the meteors are smaller than a grain of sand and burn completely on entering Earth's atmosphere. But a few of them are big and do not burn completely. These meteors that do not burn completely on entering the Earth's atmosphere and land on the surface of the Earth as a rock are called meteorites. Asteroids. Asteroids are huge lumps of rocks orbiting around the Sun, mainly between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Asteroids are too small and too far from the Earth to be seen with the naked eye. Through telescopes, they look like faint stars and hence are called asteroids. It is believed that there was a planet between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. This planet broke into fragments as a result of the powerful gravitational force exerted by Jupiter. But the fragments continued to revolve around the Sun in their respective orbits, forming asteroids. Ceres is the largest asteroid known. According to another theory, the asteroids were formed at the same time as the rest of the planets. But these smaller bodies somehow failed to assemble into a planet.
Constellations. Many of the stars that you see in the night sky are found in groups resembling certain shapes. These groups of stars are known as constellations. In Indian astronomy, constellations are called nakshatras. These constellations are named after legendary figures, animals, or heroes by our ancestors. All the members of a constellation always stay together. The position of each member of a constellation is fixed relative to other members and therefore their shape remains the same. They appear to move in the sky from east to west. you can easily identify some constellations even with naked eyes. Some easily identifiable constellations are Ursa Major or Rihat Saptarshi, Ursa Minor or Laghu Saptarshi, and Orion or Mriga. There are 88 constellations which have been recognized and named so far by International Astronomical Union. Some of them are Ashwini, Bharani, Chitra, Mriga, Aries, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra and Pisces. The stars are moving with high speed in different directions, but they show the same pattern because of their great distances from the Earth, and they will take thousands of years to make visible differences to us. Ursa Major or Big Dipper. The Ursa Major is one of the best known constellations and contains 7 chief stars making up a pattern known as the Plough. It is also known as the Big Dipper, the Great Bear or the Saptarishi. With the help of Ursa Major, you can locate the position of the pole star. A straight line drawn through the pointers of the Plough will lead us to the pole star or Polaris at a distance of roughly 5.5 times that of the distance between the two pointers. Ursa Minor or Small Dipper. Ursa Minor or Little Bear has 7 bright stars. Its shape is quite similar to Ursa Major. The star at the end or the tail of Ursa Minor is Pole Star or Dhruv Tara. All constellations seem to revolve around the pole star, which remains stationary at the same place in the north. This is because the pole star is directly above the North Pole on the axis of rotation of the Earth. At night, sailors at sea use the pole star as a pointer to navigate or to find their way. Orion. Orion is one of the brightest constellations that is seen in the north in winter and in the south in summer. It is also called Kal Purush. Orion appears like a hunter. The 3 stars in the middle represent the belt of the hunter. Orion has 7 bright stars, of which 4 appear to be arranged in the form of a quadrilateral. One of the brightest stars, known as Betelgeuse, is situated on one corner of this quadrilateral, while another bright star, called Rigel, is situated on the opposite corner. Other 3 prominent stars in the Orion constellation appear to be in a straight line in the middle part of it.